our objective is to change the color of my shoes, and then using layer masks and layers, we're also going to create a mural that I'm painting here. So the very first thing that I need to do is change the color of my shoes. So to do that, I'm going to go to the adjustments menu and I'm going to click hue saturation. Now, sliding this hue, sort of like the slider, I guess, here is going to be change the color of my shoes, and the rest of the image might look a bit weird until we add a layer mask. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide this until I get the color of shoes that I like. Now I think, what color do you guys think? Purple? Okay, that sounds like a great idea. All right, so we're gonna have the shoes be purple. Now, of course, if I wanted to make them crazy colors, I could slide the saturation up a little bit, but I think, a little bit might be fun. Maybe +10 again. Excellent. So now what I'm gonna do is if I click on and off of this, I can see that this is the original color and this is the crazy new color that we've made the shoes. Now, what we're gonna do is we're going to zoom into the shoes like this, and we're going to select the polygon lasso tool, which is just here. Now using this tool, I am going to click, so you just click and move, and I'm going to select around the outside of this shoe. And this will just enable us to change the color of this shoe, but without it affecting anything else in the image, okay? So now once that's moving, we've got like the moving ants, that's what I like to call them. We've selected this part of the shoe. So now what we need to do, and quickly a little lesson for layer masks, the layer is here and we have a mask here. Now anything that we paint onto this layer mask in black takes it away, and anything we paint in white puts it back. So for example, if I get my pencil, now often your pencil will be hidden under the brush tool. So you're going to be looking for something that looks like this, and you click and you hold your finger down on it and you select the pencil tool beneath it. So black and white are the two colors that we're working with. So for example, if I paint something in black, it takes it away. So it takes whatever we've done on this layer and it gets rid of it. However, if I was like, you know what, I actually think that looks really cool, I can flick the color here, so I'm flipping it. You could also select it if you double click on it, but you want it to be perfectly white so that when you paint it back, it reveals again the changes that you made to that layer, okay? What we want to do, however, is get rid of this stuff, but we've selected this area. So what we need to do is come and click up here, and we're gonna click select and inverse. So it's gonna flip the stuff that we've selected. And then we're gonna reverse this so we have black on the top color. We've got our pencil selected. I'm gonna make my pencil larger, which I can do by either clicking the square brackets, the right square bracket, or I can select it up here, I can change the size. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to start painting the black around it. So you can see it's starting to appear here. It has to be on this layer and it has to be on this layer mask, because if you're clicking on here, all you're going to be doing is painting black onto the original image. So you need to make sure you've selected this. And then I'm just going to zoom out and I'm going to start drawing black all over everything, but I'm not going to do the other shoe yet because I'm going to repeat this same process when I get to that. So I'm painting it all black. Awesome. Now I want to deselect that. So I'm going to click on the little square marquee tool up here and just click once on my page, and that deselects everything. And now I'm going to zoom. So to zoom, it's Control plus, or on a Mac, it's Command plus. And again, I'm going to get the polygon lasso tool, and I am just going to trace around the shoe. And now that it's all selected, I'm going to do the exact same process again. So I'm going to click select, inverse. So now I've flipped the selection. I'm going to click on the pencil again. And without coming over here, because we don't want to accidentally get rid of some of that stuff, we are just going to remove the rest of the image. So we're going to paint black on those last little bits that we didn't get earlier. Just fix up any of these bits over here. I think we're all good. Beautiful. And now again, to deselect it, I can click on this square marquee tool and click once on the page and I can deselect that. Now that we've set this layer mask up, if you want to change the color of the shoes at any time, all you need to do is click on this part of the layer, so where you've made the adjustment, and you can slide this down so it's black and white shoes. I won't see that unless I move this back up. So we could change this back to 0, and then you could move whatever color you want. You've now created a mask, so anything that you change, you'll only be able to see within these shoes, okay? So I think, what color? We had pink, maybe the blue. You reckon? Sure. All right, so I got my blue shoes and I'm going to paint a mural now, okay? So the first thing that I need to do is I need to click on this collection of lines at the top of the layers menu, and you'll come up with a panel like this, and you want to click new layer, and we're going to call this our mural layer. Now on this layer, we're going to be painting the crazy things that I am going to be pretending to paint. But the first thing we need to do is we need to turn this selection here from normal to multiply. Now what that does is it makes our mural layer a transparent layer, so it will look more realistic as if I have been painting it on. The next thing we need to do is we need to get some colors up. So I'm going to click on Windows and I'm going to get swatches, and it's going to give me already a whole bunch of different colors that I can pick from just very quickly, okay? So I think the mural I'm going to make today is going to be orange, because it would be a nice contrast to the shoes. So I'm just going to click on the orange here, and I'm going to click back onto the mural. So what I need to do now is get the pencil. And because the pencil is already a circle, I think I'm going to utilize that. And I'm just going to start doing some circles, and I can change the size of them like this. And I can keep making the sizes just slightly different. And I'm going to click until I filled the entire space with different size circles. Okay, so now once we've got our space filled with circles, I want to show you what it would have looked like if we'd had this layer set to normal. So when it's normal, it's as if you've drawn these dots just on top of the image. However, when you set it to multiply, again, it adds that transparency to the layer so it looks like it's actually applied to the wall. But what we need to do now is make sure that we can see my face, my glasses, my hands, and all of those sorts of items separate from the actual mural. From the actual, like the design on the mural. So what we're going to do is we're going to click back on the background layer, and we are going to select this tool here, which is called the Quick Selection tool. So sometimes it might already show up as the magic wand tool, and if that's the case, again, you just click on it and hold down and then select the Quick Selection tool. Now, the Quick Selection tool is used to select specific colors in an image really quickly. So what we could do is we can hold down and it will select that whole white area. And then when you want to add anything to that, you just hold Shift. So I'm going to hold Shift and I'm going to select that part and this part here too. Now that I've got that part selected, I can click back on my mural layer, and because this area is the part that I would like to keep and this is the part that is selected, all I have to do is click on this Add Layer Mask section down here, which is the rectangle with the circle in it, and it will do the job for me that I did earlier using the Polygon Lasso tool. So see how now you can see my face, my shirt, and it looks like the mural is actually behind me. Now, because of the white brush that I was holding, my hand is actually sort of like disappeared behind the mural. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Polygon Lasso tool and I'm just going to tweak this. So I'm just going to zoom in and I am going to select the area where the brush is and around my hand. Like that. Now once I've got that area selected, I can actually get the black pencil, and as long as I'm selecting this layer mask on the mural layer, I can paint this away And again, it will give me that appearance that it's in front of that mural. So it's like removing the mural from that layer. And I'm just going to do the same thing to my glasses, but for this I might just do it with the pencil, because I would like my glasses to be visible since I do need them to see. So that would be quite nice. If I zoom out, or that might be a little bit too wide. So I'll just go back in. There we go. All right. So now I've got this set up so that I've changed the color of my shoes, and I've done that using the adjustments menu, but then also a layer mask. And I've also added a mural in behind me, and I've done that again using a layer mask, but this time I created the layer mask, or I selected the area using the quick selection tool, okay? Now, the beauty of like layer masks is once you've got one set up, you can continue to duplicate it and you just change the design in the background. So for example, I could click up on here and select duplicate layer, because this is the layer I've got selected. So I could click on here and go duplicate layer. We'll make a copy of the mural, and then I could turn this original one off, and I can either just paint white over my original design like this, and I've got a blank canvas that I can start again. So I could click on maybe some pink. And now that I've got this layer mask set up, anything I paint into here will automatically have the same layer mask on it. So again, you only do the work once and you have the benefits of it afterwards. So I can continue making lots of different types of murals that I'm painting from the same layer mask. So it's just a really good way of being able to play around with lots of different ideas with the same layer mask. So I've got another mural here like that, and then I could always just draw on top of that with other colors. So maybe I want to do this. Oh, I don't know if I like this, but that's okay. And it will stay within that same layer mask that we've already set up, okay? And you can just do this infinitely. So you can continue duplicating the layer and just adding more and more different designs to your image, okay? Now, the thing we want to do, because we want to keep playing around with this, we want to save this as a JPEG, but we also want to save it as a Photoshop file. So we want to save this as a JPEG if you want to share this with your friends, or if you want to submit it into like a folio that you've got for me. So you'd need to save it as a JPEG so that you could submit that into your folio. So let's save this one. We would go File, Save As, and we would save it as Miss Winter Image Practice 1, and we'll save that as a JPEG that you can send to yourself, send to your friends, upload to Instagram, whatever your jam is. And then because we want to keep tweaking this, we'll save it as a Photoshop file as well. So we would go Photoshop and we'll add it practice number 1, save, okay, and that way we can close it. And then if we go, you know what, I really just want to mess around with that a little bit more, we can open the Photoshop file again, and we have all of our layer masks and all of our things here that we can keep tweaking with. So guys, that's how you use layers, and that's how you use layer masks to change the color of shoes and also add crazy things into the background of your images.